Okay, here with an update for the construction mech that I was building. As you can see, I have painted it. I did this with several layers of paint. I started with dry brushing a little bit of aluminum on the figure as it was. I did not primer it. Since it already had paint on it, I figured that the other paint will stick to it, and it does. So just good to know. And you can still put it in boiling water and pull it back out if you need to dry fit it. Doesn't seem to affect the paint. So I did a little bit of aluminum in some spots to give it some metal. Then I dry brushed the entire thing in this minty green. Went back over it with a yellow. Did a little few spots in the orange. And did a black wash with some ink. And I wanted the upper body and the lower body to have a different consistency. Like the upper body has been worn and weathered a little more. I've still got to go back and put in some ink spots and rust and some other things like that. I'm going to put a decals on there with hazard striping. As you can see, I have put the cockpit on there. It was Sculpey. I pressed that in and pressed the glass into place, and as you can see, it's slightly deformed, so that is where the autocannon rests up against it, so it's a nice snug fit. That all comes right back off, and it fits in like a key since it was pressed into the figure. Here is my Scout mech that is just kind of put together at the moment, dry fitted. Still haven't gotten the spacer for the waist yet, but that's kind of what the guy's going to look like. I think it's really cool. This is one that I threw together, Shadowhawk 2C body. The arms are off of a blade variant. And the legs are off of another mech I can't remember the name of. I'm going to be cutting the autocannon off of the left arm and putting a laser in there, and it's going to be like a 30-25 50-ton mech, AC5 SRM6 medium laser, large laser, nearly maximum armor, pretty good well-rounded mech, in case I want to do an old 30-25 game. This guy, I threw it together with some pieces. It's vulture legs and the maelstrom body that I'm using for the longbow that I showed in the other video. As you can see, the protrusions there I had to cut off for the longbow. But I thought it looked a lot like the Avatar, so I may run with that later. And this is the guy I've been working on tonight. I'm all over the place, so you'll have to forgive me. I am trying to make a N-scale Lancelot. And this is what I have so far. I have been sculpting this guy out of Sculpey putty, and I think it's coming along pretty well. It's fitted over the body of a Dasher 2C that I have cut pieces off, sanded down. I cut that sheet styrene to be in the shape of the torso and glued it on at the angle it needed, and then filled in with Sculpey putty. And I have pressed these fittings in for the arms that are going to work great, because these are like long tom guns, and there are two of them, and it will allow, these will be the large lasers on the arm, and it will actually allow them to rotate out and around. And then for the torso, for the torso particle cannon, you can see this here, I have cut the particle cannon off of a what is that, pack hunter, and that's going to fit on there really well. And I'm going to make the cockpit out of the pack hunter's bubble head there. Let's see if you can see that. And I'm going to Sculpey out the rest of the cockpit so that it's kind of fits in there, and that'll be fitted on there. That's what I'll have probably tonight. I am experimenting right now with baking this guy, since it does have sheet styrene and Sculpey putty, and I'm going to have to bake it with all the pieces as they are. I'm testing a piece in our toaster oven right now to see how it holds up to the heat. So far it seems to be doing okay, and sheet styrene has a very high melting point, so I'm really hoping this doesn't curl up or anything. But once it's all baked solid, I'll be sanding it a little bit to smooth it out and clean it up a little bit. I've pressed in some details. I don't know if you can see them. There's like a vent on the right side there where the particle cannon's heat's going to come out. These are just a couple of ports I thought made it look interesting. And I've tried to press some vents into the back, obviously for more heat, waste heat. And hopefully I'll have this guy done, partially done tonight. But that is an update where I'm at right now. Thought I would give you guys the preview of it. And hopefully the next one I will do will have the finished construction mech with decals and everything. And I'll upload that. Thanks.